Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we have got tons of really cool knives here, but not only do we have knives here, we got a bunch off screen that we're going to show you too, because I like to have examples when I'm talking to people, kind of to hone the point in, and also because you might just get tired of me talking. And so plenty of knives. Today what we're going to be talking about is inexpensive knives. Are inexpensive knives really worth having? What is the type of situation that you might want to have an inexpensive knife over, say, a premium knife like this? And so we're going to be talking about that a little bit. And also towards the end of the video, I may even give you some good alternatives to have if you don't want to buy these and you don't want to buy these. So if you'd like to hear more about it, check out the video.
My lower back feels really tight.
Lower, stretch it out. Does it hurt?
Uh-huh.
Why are you doing it?
Because I thought stretching it might help.
Doesn't look like it's helping. Hell, getting old, ain't it? All right, welcome back to the Fortified Castle. Hi to all my viewers. Bonjour, privet, guten tag, hola, and ciao to my foreign viewers. And before I get into all this, if you watch my channel, you know I like old things, not just knives. And I wanted to show you this book. It's leather bound, real leather. It's a New Testament, I don't know what you call them, commentary on the New Testament. And check this book out. Look at that writing right there. And wait do you see this, guys? 1853. This is an old book. Old book. And it's in perfect condition. Really cool. This one right here is even older. I think this book is from the 1700s. Could possibly be 1600s. But look at the old block lettering on this book. See that? It's unbelievable. Really crazy. And of course it's not worth anything because the spine isn't on it. The page is missing off this book, but I just got it because I think it's really old. I'm no book expert though, but it's a lot older than you think it is. So anyhow, let's talk about the subject. Boom. All right. So we're going to be talking about inexpensive knives like these. This Rough Rider right here. Kind of had this on my mind for a couple weeks. I know a lot of people wouldn't even look at this knife right here. Little Rough Rider, $16. It's just junk and it's cheap, right? And so they wouldn't even look at it. So these guys are collecting these GEC knives, paying $500 for them, $200 for them. And by the way, I just love these GEC knives. They're really nice. But just to let you know, I cut my teeth on knife collecting by these vintage knives right here. This is an I-brand knife from it's Westinghouse. I'm sorry, I got that wrong knife on my mind. Westinghouse, genuine bone. Look at that jigging on that. Very finely made knife. Here's another English knife. Really fine, genuine tortoise shell. Perfect knife in every way. Just absolutely fantastic Congress knife. And it's the kind of thing that I started collecting. This is a Robeson pre-1940 Cattaraugus, Robeson case, those old knives. And so I'm kind of prone to like high quality knives. And up to a couple years ago, I wouldn't have bought one of these knives. But part of my collecting experience, I picked up lesser knives like this Parker knife right here. Absolutely perfect knife, perfect action, perfect transitions, no gaps. I actually EDC'd this for about 3 months, doing whatever I would do with a normal knife. Had no problems with it whatsoever. And that's been my experience with them. If collectors, knife collectors, don't think very highly of these Parker knives either, but I have a number of them and they're wonderful knives. And so that's kind of been my experience with them. I bought this knife this year. It's a Frost, and that's another knife a collector wouldn't even look at. It's got really cool scroll work here, which is why I bought it. Really neat coat of arms shield on it. And it also has some etching on here too. I'll show you that right there. This is a really cool little peanut, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So you get really nice squared off back spring here, nice rounds on it. All the transitions are good. There's no gapping in this knife whatsoever. It has cow horn scales on it. Really nice knife, and it was $9. So that got me to thinking. There's a lot of people out there who wouldn't collect knives like these, and what I wanted to say is that these are perfectly good knives for what they are. And the reason that you might collect a knife like that is, for one thing, this is a sow belly and they're hard to find. And it has really cool G10 scales on it. And, Cases just now started putting some different scales on their knives. And they're not quite to this level yet. But, used to be you couldn't find something like this on a knife unless you were paying custom prices. And this one I bought because I couldn't find ram's horn anywhere else. It's a Rough Rider, and that's why I bought this, just for these scales. I wanted an example of a ram's horn. The only ram's horn I could find was on custom knives that were way expensive, like $700. This is a little marbles. It's got diamond checkering on it, genuine bone. So this is genuine bone diamond checker. That is really cool, and it's on a full size toothpick. So really cool, and that's why a guy might collect a inexpensive knife, because you find stuff on them that you don't find on other knives. There's guys who will say that this knife is just as good as this knife, and it really isn't. I'll tell you that right up front. This knife, there's no gapping on it. It's perfect squares, highly polished, and it's only a $44 knife. Now, that's not true on every case knife, and I realize that. I have a lot of cases, but here's another one. This is another one that's perfect. There's no gapping in it. Everything on this knife is perfect. And I paid $68 for this one. So I have a lot of good case knives, and I don't regret collecting them. And you'd have a hard time telling me that this knife is better than this knife. right here. There's pluses and minuses to each one of these knives, but I want to show you this on this knife. If you look, you can see where the bolster, it looks like they jigged the covers of this knife while the bolsters were on. You can see little spots there where they ran into the, look at that. You can clearly see it on there. See those dings in the bolsters? And that's from the jigging. So that's not the way to make a knife. That's not the sign of a premium knife. And I'll show you another one. Here's just a simple yellow bone on this knife. Really nice GEC knife. I like this knife. Well made, perfect transitions there. But there's gaps in this knife. Maybe you could see it a little bit in there. I don't know. I have to put a light underneath there, but there's gaps in the liners on this thing. So it's $180 that I paid to get this knife, and it has gaps in the liner. You know, this knife has gaps in the liner, and this knife is 14 times more than this knife. So I don't know. I don't get it. But I don't think GC knives are perfect. I think they're pretty nice knives. And there's an in-between you can get. Knives like these are collector knives also. So these knives here were made for knife collectors. You can see the National Knife Collector Association stamp on it. Nice stag on there. Bronze. And it's a large equal end two-bladed knife. Another pattern that you didn't see very often. This is a pattern that equal end opposite end knife that had gone away. And here's another one. This knife is perfect. So this is a Bulldog brand. And this is just a fantastic knife here. There's no flaws in this knife. Extremely well made. Genuine bone. Beautiful jigging. But this was under $100, and this one was under $100 too, that I got them for. So those are alternatives. If you want to move away from a knife like this, is these collector knives. They're not all perfect. You know, they're pretty good. Like I said, this one has gapping in it. And here's one from Robert Class. Really cool looking knife. This is an old pattern. I think Remington was the first one to make this humpback pattern. But really cool knife. And again, under $100 I paid for this. And this knife has some gapping issues in it. So, you know, I don't know. Here's another one. This is a really nice queen. And it has some gapping in the knife. And you can even see it right there. You can see the gapping. So I don't know where you're going to go. I think that issue is overplayed. Like I said, this is a GEC. It has some gap in there. Other issues in this GEC right here. You know, if you want to pay, you know, 8 times more than a case to just say you've got a perfect knife, which isn't perfect, you know, okay, have at it. But this is a well-made knife, even with the issues here. And even with the other knives, like this knife here, this is a well-made knife. It's $9. So why do guys buy these inexpensive knives? You know, mainly to collect because they look cool and you're not paying a fortune to get them. And you'll hear them all the time kind of discount the problems with these knives, but really there are not a lot of problems with them. And you find those same problems all the way up. So if you want to really get some good knives, look at the vintage knives. Look for good ones like this. They're in good shape and at a good price. And you can get you a really nice knife. And I would trade this knife right here, but I would not trade this knife right here. And I paid a lot less for this knife than I did this knife right here. And this knife right here, this Westinghouse, cost me $30. $30 for that knife. It's got some wear on it. Got some wear on the blade. Action is perfect. It is made perfectly. No gapping. Everything about this knife is good. My nails are broken, so I can't get it open. Anyhow, I'm not going to waste my time showing it to you, but you can see it's a really nice knife. 30 bucks. Here's another one. This is a Schrade. It's a Whittler. Really nice knife. Less than a knife like this. More than a knife like this. But I bought this for $40, and it's just a fantastic little Whittler from the 1950s. Perfect. Beautiful knife. So these vintage knives could be a really good option for you. If you don't mind Chinese knives, you know, this Kershaw right here is a perfect knife. So there's nothing wrong at all with this knife. Look at the top squares, how they're shined up. And let me show you on this case. Look how that's all girt up there. Now it's cleaned up, but it's all girt up. Well, certainly a GEC would be better than that, right? So this is a GEC knife. They didn't even clean up the top square. Look at that difference. Kershaw, GEC. This is a nice knife right here, guys. Perfect. No gaps in the liners. I paid $22 for this. They usually go for $40, but I paid $22 for that knife. Here's another one. This is a more modern version, you know, but this is a Culpeper. These Culpepers, and yeah, this is copper, but I like copper, and they have Culpepers in bone. And perfect transitions on this. Look at that. No gapping. Paid $35 for this. This is an awesome knife. D2 steel. See the D2 on there? Good options, you know. So these knives here, this is a real steel. This is a Chinese produced knife. This is a modern slip joint, and it's fantastic. You know, $22, $24, something like that. Really nice modern slip joint. Here's another one. This is a Civivi. Look at that. Another inexpensive knife. This was $9. This is a modern take on a slip joint. This is a true slip joint. Got a half stop. Look at that. Fits your hand. It's a great EDC knife. $9. So I don't think you have to pay hundreds of dollars, you know, for a knife. And you know, this is one of my most popular knives I ever did a video on right here, and it's got all kinds of problems. It's a nice looking knife, but it's not the best made knife, that's for sure. It's got problems. Nice knife, glad to have it in my collection, but you know, there are other options for you than just these outrageously priced GECs. That's really my point. And if you're going to spend a couple $100, this is a custom knife made by David Yellowhorse. This is a perfect knife. So look at the transitions on this knife. Perfect. Special work bolsters, genuine stones in it. You know, not as expensive as this knife. It's crazy what people are paying for these knives. Let's see if I got another one. Here's another one. This is a little Santa Fe Stoneworks. Beautiful Damascus blade on it. This is mammoth tooth with genuine stones inlaid. So that's mother of pearl and genuine onyx inlaid. Finely made knife. Look at the transitions on that. Perfect. Perfect transitions. Really nice knife. This cost me $220. This knife. You can get them cheap, or you can get them like 140, but that's only one side, and I didn't want one side. I wanted both sides, so I paid a little bit more to get both sides on it. But you know, to me, that's a better knife than this knife right here. Another example of a better knife. So I like to buy these. I like to buy these GCs when I can get them at a low price. I just bought one. Haven't shown it yet, but a really nice knife for $149. Just crazy what I got it for. That's right around what it originally sold for. But anyhow, I'm going to wrap the video up. And if you're that guy, and you don't understand why somebody would buy a knife like this, buy one, right? It's $16. Check them out, and then maybe you might change your opinion. And if you lament the fact that this is what you're buying and you'd like to buy something different, there's a lot of really good options in these vintage knives. You know, look at the vintage knives. You can get them really cheap. Most of my vintage knives I paid $40 for, around $40. Some of the ones, like this one, I paid $85 for right here. But it's genuine tortoiseshell, and it's a Congress knife, 4-bladed Congress knife. So you're going to pay a little bit more for something like that. And, you know, you can buy these knives in the $40 range all day long. These fantastic Schrade Walden knives. Anyhow, I'm going to close out the video. I hope you found it interesting, and thanks for watching.